Okay, looks like I'm live. My name is Roger Cox, and bear with me for a second here. I am going to be talking about how to find friends on Facebook, but I'm doing something here that's been a long time since I've done, and I'm just trying to make this work. I'm going to try to share this to some groups so that I can get some leverage out of this. And like I said, it's been a while since I've done this, and so I hope I can make this work. Let's see here. So bear with me. Thanks for joining me if you're when you're here. Okay, yes, it says I'm live. Let me get this going here. I'm going to try to share this to some groups. Oops, we want to. If I can get some leverage out of this, and we want to mute that. It's been a while since I've done this, and so I hope I can make this work. Let's see here. So bear with me. Thanks for joining me if you're when you're here. Okay, yes, it says I'm live. Okay, I think I got it muted. Sorry about all that. I'm going to share this to one more group here, and I'll be right with you. We're going to talking about how to find friends, how to make friends on Facebook, especially if you're a network marketer. That's something that you might want to do, is have some friends. Hold on, let me get my train of thought here. I got one more to share. Okay. I wish I was a little better at multitasking. This would go a little quicker if I was able to do that. Okay, let me... Well, anyway, I'm hoping this is working. And it looks like it is. So I'm actually going to try to move over to a little place where I can get a little more animated, because I might break something if I start moving around too much here. Alrighty. And you'll probably miss a lot of this stuff if you're just not joining in, which is probably good because I'm just getting set up. Okay, I think I'm ready. Whoops, turn my mic just a little bit so you can hear me a little better. Alrighty, so my topic tonight is how to find friends on Facebook, especially if you're a network marketer, because that's something that's very important. And so we're just gonna dive right into it, because if you're network marketing, I'm sure your upline or your sponsor has said, the way you build your business is you talk to a lot of people. You find people and you talk to them. And they probably talk to you about the 3-foot rule. And I'm sure you've heard of the 3-foot rule, which basically is anytime you're within 3 foot of people, you tell them about your opportunity. You tell them about your business, right? Now there's some problems with that. There's some caveats. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to give you some warnings first. But before I tell you how to find friends on Facebook, I'm going to give you some warnings so that you don't go out and just really mess it up, because you can. So when you in the real world, when you're outside, you're walking down the street, and you got these words of your upline ringing in your head. When you come within 3 feet of somebody, talk to them about your business. So you're walking down the street and you see someone coming down the sidewalk. You don't know them, but there's a live body coming down the sidewalk. And so you run over there and you wrap your arms around them, you grab them, and you start puking out of your mouth all this stuff about your company, about your opportunity, right? Have you done that? I've done that. So you're talking about them. The leaders of my company have 3 advanced degrees from Harvard. The company is voted the #1 in the country. It's got all these amazing products, and you just go on and on and on about your company. And this poor guy, you got your arms wrapped around, he's shell-shocked. He just, well, what's going on with this? And he's trying to get away from you. He's trying to push you away, and he's got this stuff all over him. And have you done that before? Well, maybe not to that degree, but I bet a lot of you do that on online marketing, on Facebook, or on any place where you can get to people. You probably do the same thing online as you might do, when you're out about walking around. And if you've watched my videos long enough, you know that is not the way to market your product on Facebook or on social media. That's just not the way to do it. So with that caveat, I'm going to talk to you about how to find friends on Facebook. And this process also works for Instagram, Pinterest, and any of the other social media. It'll work for all of them. So here's the thing. You got to have people to talk to, right? Because you have to have someone to tell your product, tell your story to. Sorry, my mouth is not quite working quite right tonight, but you need people to talk to. Now, I grew up in a small farm on Kansas. Our nearest neighbor was like a half a mile away. I think there were two other neighbors maybe within a mile if you go different directions. And I would bet if you took a 15-mile radius, you might find 1,000 people. So where I came from, there were very few people. I mean, it was pretty sparse. It was hard to find people to even be friends with, let alone to talk to them. So that's changed now in this world. We now have things like Facebook. We have technology. And if you think about it, I saw a statistic the other day that there's like 7 billion people in the world, okay? And the statistic that I saw says that 1 billion of them, so 1 out of 7 people, 1 billion of those people are on Facebook. 1/7 of the whole world's population is on Facebook. And there were some, I forget how many millions of them it was, that log in every day. So now, if you have Facebook, and I'm assuming that you do because you're watching this, if you have Facebook, you now have access to over 1 billion people. Now that gets a little tempting, it says, oh, I got 1 billion people, I can talk to them all about my product, and I can throw all this stuff out, and maybe out of 1 billion I might get 1. That's not the way to do it. It's not the way to do it. Number one, we take the example where the guy was walking down the street, you don't know him, and you don't know what his needs or his wants are, and you just throw this stuff out, and he's trying to get away from you, you're just hoping that some of it sticks. Throw it against the wall, see what sticks, right? You've been told that, right? So, you don't want to do that. Don't do that. I implore you not to do that. You're not going to make friends, you're going to lose friends, you're going to push them away. But there is a way that you can find people to talk to. And now I'm going to tell you that. Okay, so now that you know the cautions to watch for, just because you have a lot of friends doesn't give you the permission or to go out and just vomit all over them verbally about your product or your opportunity. That's not the way to win friends and influence people. Okay, so we're using Facebook, and I'm sure you have some other interests in your life besides Facebook. Maybe you knit, or you crochet, or you're a basketball player, or you raise worms, for example. I actually did this. I used the worm. I used to be a worm farmer some years back. I did that for a year. It was a lot of fun. But I can find people on Facebook that love worms. They've raised worms, and I can find those people. And I'm going to tell you, so whatever your interests are, maybe it's polka dancing, maybe it's one-armed accordion players. So here's what you do. On Facebook, if you're on the left-hand side, I think this is reversed now because I'm doing this live video, so it looks like it's on my right side. But if you look at Facebook, on the left-hand side, you go down a little bit, and there's a place that says groups. And groups is what you want to look at. There are groups for everything. You can put any topic in the search bar, and you can find groups on just about everything. The worm farming. I did a search on worms, on worm farming. I found groups of people who talk about worms. One time a while back, I did a search on one-armed accordion players. I didn't find any one-armed accordion players, but I did find accordion players. So what you do, you find these groups that you have an interest in, some groups that you can make a contribution to, something that maybe you know something about worm farming, and you can join one of these groups, and you can show your expertise. You can become you can show that you're an authority, or at least you know something about worms. Same thing with playing the accordion with one arm. I've never seen it. I would like to, but whatever your interest is, maybe it's marathons, maybe it's fit for wellness, working out, whatever it might be. There are groups on Facebook that they talk about that. And what you want to do is you want to get into those groups and get to meet some of those people because they have some common interests that you have. And that's what you're looking for, is some common interest. This guy on the street that you just run around and you hug, you don't know whether you had any common interest with him or not. And so everything that's coming out of your mouth is just wasted. So you got the Facebook group. You found some groups. You found some groups that talk about worm farming, or whatever your interest is. Your next step then is to join those groups, because some of them are going to be open. You can just say, I want to join, and you're in. A lot of them nowadays are going to be closed. which means that you have to you have to apply, to get into those groups. You have to get permission to get into those groups. So you request permission, you request entrance into the groups, and at some point an administrator will check you out, hopefully fairly well, and they'll accept you. So now you're in the group and you can participate. You see other people that are in the group. You can click on their names and you can open up their profile pages and you can look at them and you can kind of see what their life is like. You can find people who are like you, who have the same common interests, something that you have to talk about. Because number one, you do not want to go into these groups and immediately begin vomiting and the verbal vomit all over them about your product and opportunity, because that's not what you're there for. You're not there to promote your product or your opportunity. You're there to make a friend. And you don't do that by just grabbing people, hugging them, and telling them all about your product and your opportunity. You want to get to know them. You want to find some common ground. You want to talk to them. You want to have a conversation with them. So that's what you do with the groups. You go in there and you find people that are like you, that think like you, or the people that you would like to think like. But you don't go in and you don't throw out your multi-level garbage. I mean, multi-level marketing is not garbage, but the way you give it sometimes is garbage, and that's what makes people not like us. It pushes people away. It turns them off. They don't want to hear about network marketing if all they got is people coming upon them and just join my product, join my opportunity. No, join my opportunity. My opportunity is better. It's not the way we should operate. You go into the groups, you find somebody that you would like to be your friend, and you compliment them, or you comment with them, you just start a conversation with them, and at some point, perhaps, you might know enough about them to find a need that your product or your opportunity might then address and might be able to help them. Then, and only then, I'm going to pound this into your brain, then and only then do you offer your opportunity or your product or whatever it is. You want to make sure that there's a need for it. Otherwise, you're just spamming. You're just throwing up on them, and it's going to repel them. It's going to push them away. It's going to give them a negative perception about network marketing. So actually, I guess my video tonight was about two things. Number one is don't spam. Don't chase these people down. Have them come to you. Because at some point, if you're in these groups and you're talking to them and you're getting well known in these groups, somebody's going to ask you about you and your life. What do you do? Then, or whenever it's just natural, then you can talk about your product. Then you can talk about your opportunity. That's what we do. We make friends. We don't push product and opportunity on people who we don't even know that they're even remotely interested in it. We make friends. And we share the opportunity with our friends or people that we at least know has a need for what we have to give them. Otherwise, it's like some random man coming to your door and trying to get you to buy, I don't know, maybe he wants you to buy vaccines. Stupid example, but the first thing that came to my mind. You have no interest in vaccines, but there's some guy, he wants to sell this vaccine to you, and it's the best thing in the world, That's kind of the same example, same analogy. We don't push products or opportunity on people who we don't even know whether they have a need for it or not. Because when we do that, we're just spamming. And I'm sure you see that all the time, especially when new people come into network marketing and they get into groups and they say, I'm new to this group, this product has changed my life, you need to have it. And, they're talking to people, trying to get them to buy their product, and they don't even know them. They don't know what their needs are, don't know what their wants are. So here's the takeaway. I'm going to quit because I've gone on long enough. First of all, when you're trying to find friends, don't do them with the intention that you're going to push your product or your opportunity on them. That's spamming. Nobody likes spamming. You're going to drive people away. You're only going to attract a very few of the people that are out there. Out of that 1 billion people, only a very few are going to buy from you if you approach them that way. So you don't want to spam. just like you wouldn't do that out in the real world, you know, where you just walk down the street and randomly grab somebody and start yelling into his ear about stuff. You want to make a relationship first. You want to find something in common. Then you can find your friends. You can enlarge your friendship world on Facebook with the groups. There's a group for everything, and you go in there. You get accepted to a group that you have a legitimate interest in, and then you play nice. You play nice in these groups. You know, you don't use them as fresh meat. You get to know people. You form relationships. You talk to people, and then when you find a need, you can share your product or your opportunity. And guess what? It's actually going to be they're going to accept it more readily. They're going to be more willing to listen to what you have to say. Your conversion rate is going to go, you know, through the roof. So that's my rant for tonight. That's my Facebook Live. Again, my name is Roger Cox. I do have a blog. My blog is at www.rogercox.net. Make sure you get the net and not the com, rogercox.net. And I got some more videos up there, and my Facebook page is facebook.com with the / Health and Freedom with Roger Cox. And I'd appreciate it if you go to those sites, get in touch with me, talk to me. I've got all kinds of information that I can give you about building a network marketing business and how to do it properly without alienating the 7 billion people out there, or well, I guess it's 1 billion. 1 billion out of 7 billion. Don't alienate 1 billion people out there in the world. Do it right. We can do this the right way. So comment below, get in touch with me, talk to me. I got some free information I can give you. I've also got some stuff that you can pay for. I give you a little more detail, give you a lot more leverage, and I can get that to you too. But I got free stuff because I want to teach people how to do their network marketing online without alienating 1 billion people that are available to you. Okay? Contact me. We'll talk again. Bye.